The docking bay always smelled like overheated metal and recycled air that had given up trying to be fresh. Cole Mathis liked to think of it as the station's way of reminding everyone that space did not care about comfort. He adjusted the gravity tether on a cargo crate the size of a small apartment and muttered at it as though it might listen. The crate did not. Somewhere above him, mag rails hummed, cargo drones zipped past like caffeinated insects, and a warning light blinked insistently for no reason anyone remembered. It was an ordinary shift, which in Cole's experience meant something would go wrong within the hour. He was halfway through guiding the crate toward a loading platform when the station's artificial gravity hiccuped. Not enough to trigger alarms, just enough to make everything feel slightly off. The crate drifted a fraction too far to the left. Cole stepped sideways to compensate and ran straight into someone. There was a brief, elegant collision, followed by a very undignified tangle of limbs. Cole staggered, the other person stumbled, and gravity chose that moment to fully reassert itself. The crate stopped just short of flattening them. "Oh, sorry. I didn't see you," Cole blurted, already reaching out. He pulled the woman up before his brain caught up with his hands. She was lighter than she looked, moving with surprising balance. Only then did he really notice her. At first glance, she seemed human, light skin, pale blonde hair tied back, simple clothes. But her ears were different. Long, elegant, tapering, not like any minor trade species. These were ears of old bloodlines, old politics. Cole swallowed. Still sorry," he added lamely. The woman brushed a smudge of grease from her sleeve and smiled. Not the polite, distant smile of someone used to power, but a real, crooked smile, like she genuinely found the situation amusing. "I should have watched where I was standing," she said. Her voice was calm and warm, entirely unconcerned with the fact that they'd nearly been crushed by industrial cargo. Cole exhaled. Docking bays aren't exactly designed for sightseeing. More of a keep moving or get squashed place. She laughed softly and glanced at the exposed engine components lining the bay. And yet, they're fascinating. These older freighter models, they still rely on physical flow regulators. Inefficient, but charming. Cole blinked. "You know ship engines?" "A little," she said, tilting her head. "Enough to be curious." "Most people just complain they're loud," Cole replied. "Or blame them when deliveries are late. I've never heard anyone call them charming." "Perhaps I'm easily impressed by things that still work despite everything trying to break them," she said. Cole snorted. "Then you'd love my job." They stood for a moment, watching the flow of traffic around them, as if the universe itself had decided to pause. Cole realized he was still holding her hand and let go, suddenly aware of how inappropriate that might be. She didn't seem to mind. "Well," he said, gesturing toward the crate, "I should probably move this before it decides to finish the job it started." "Probably wise," she agreed. "I'd hate to be remembered as the woman who distracted a freight handler into an accident." Cole grinned. "Happens all the time. Usually coffee." She laughed again, and for reasons he couldn't explain, the sound lingered in his mind longer than it should. Cole guided the crate away and glanced back. She was already examining another engine assembly, fingers hovering just short of touching it, her long ears catching the docking bay lights. Cole shook his head and returned to work. Just another face in a station full of billions, he told himself. By the end of his shift, the universe seemed to have behaved. The crate was delivered. The warning light stopped blinking. Even the station canteen had a meal worth eating. Cole filed the woman in his mind under pleasant, mildly strange encounters that would never matter again. Until his comm unit chimed. Not the casual beep of a message, but a sharp official tone that suggested doom. "Cole Mathis," a calm voice said. "Please remain where you are. Station security is on the way to escort you." Cole froze. "What did I do?" "I moved cargo legally," he said. "I think security arrived faster than strictly comforting." Two officers arrived, polite smiles, hands nowhere near weapons, very aware of where they were. One gestured to a corridor. "There's been a situation," the officer said. Cole's stomach dropped. "About the crate?" "It's worse," the officer said. They rode a lift past levels Cole had only seen on maps. Commercial decks gave way to administrative zones, then gleaming command quarters. Cole tried to joke his way through growing dread. If this ends with me scrubbing hull plating with a toothbrush, I want it on record that I really tried today. Neither officer laughed. Cole was led into a briefing room. A projection displayed docking bay security footage. There he was, colliding with a woman, helping her up, smiling like an idiot. "Do you recognize this individual?" the officer asked. Cole froze. "Yes, kind of. Blonde hair, long ears, likes old engines. Nearly got flattened." "That individual," the officer said carefully, "is Queen Nalis Vin, sovereign ruler of the Stellar Dominion." The room spun. "I said hello," Cole managed. "Yes, you did." "Direct address without formal recognition is a court violation," the officer continued. Cole let his head fall back. "Of course it is. You will be brought before Her Majesty," the officer said. "She requested it." Requested, not ordered. Somehow more terrifying. Cole was ushered into a diplomatic suite, expansive and soft-lit. Queen Nalis Vin stood waiting. No longer in civilian clothes, she was regal, metallic accents highlighting her long ears, exuding command. And yet, when her eyes met Cole's, there was recognition, amusement. Cole started to kneel. It went badly. One knee hit the floor, the other wobbled, and he nearly tipped over. "That won't be necessary," Nalis said, warm and calm. She dismissed the guards with a gesture. "You're not in trouble." Cole laughed hysterically. "Respectfully, Your Majesty, everyone who says that is lying," he said. "I will be the exception," she replied. Cole stood, half kneeling, half collapsed, muscles aching from resisting panic. "You can stand up. The floor is not a test," she said gently. Cole laughed weakly. "I'm failing enough tests already." She laughed too, long and soft, filling the room. "I asked for you because you did something no one else has done in years," she said. "You apologized without fear, helped me up without hesitation, spoke freely without calculating political consequences." Cole frowned. "I didn't know who you were." "Exactly," she said. "When people know who I am, they stop seeing me. They see the Dominion, the crown, the consequences. That's exhausting." Cole realized he understood that. "Politically, I mean," he added. "Sometimes someone just says hello," she said, and for a moment, the weight of her crown seemed to lift. "I would like to ask something of you, Cole Mathis," she said. His stomach tightened. "Dinner," he guessed. "Yes. Food." Voluntarily. Cole stared. "Your Majesty, this feels like the point where the ordinary man makes a choice that ruins his life." "No guards, no titles, just two people eating," she said. "You may even complain about the station food." "All right. Dinner," Cole said, "but only if you promise not to have me executed halfway through the dessert course." "I give you my word," she said. The dining chamber was smaller than grand halls, yet somehow more intimidating. The table hovered above the floor, adapting to the room's gravity. Dishes arranged themselves as they Saturday. Cole watched in fascination as each dish reacted to him, changing flavor mid-bite. Nalis explained, "It adapts to your biology or expectations." "My expectations are low," he said cautiously. They ate, conversed, laughed. Cole shared cargo mishaps and mislabeled crates. Nalis listened with deep understanding, asking precise questions that revealed her knowledge of trade and logistics far beyond her years. She remembered everything, every route, every engine type. "Empires collapse when rulers forget how things move," she said. Cole realized, between bites and laughter, that this was no ordinary queen. She was human, yes, but she understood responsibility, and now, somehow, he did too. Later, at the observation ring, they watched ships glide past in synchronized arcs. Cole knew she would leave the station soon. She said goodbye properly, not as queen, but as herself. And in that moment, Cole felt something shift. He no longer felt small in the presence of power. He felt grounded. "You move what keeps civilizations alive," she told him. You remind rulers what they rule for. He smiled. Careful. Keep talking like that and I'll start charging diplomatic fees. She laughed, then stepped back as her ship prepared to depart. Cole watched until it vanished into hyperspace. Then he exhaled, returning to the crates, the docking bay still blinking, still heavy. But now, he carried a quiet confidence. A single ordinary moment could echo across the galaxy. A silence stretched, filled only by the distant hum of the station and the soft glow of hyperspace corridors. Cole wanted to ask questions. Why him? Why now? But he didn't. Somehow, the moment felt fragile, and words might shatter it. Finally, he said, "So, what now?" Nalice looked out, her hand brushing against the transparent barrier. Now I want to show you something." Her gesture pulled him to follow her toward a small maintenance airlock at the edge of the observation ring. Cole frowned. "Maintenance? Aren't we supposed to?" "Sure," she interrupted, her voice gentle but firm. "It's not dangerous." "Not really." The airlock opened with a hiss, and Cole stepped into a narrow, cylindrical passage. Beyond it, the station's external hull curved away, revealing a small platform protruding into open space. Here, the stars weren't filtered through alloy or glass. They were infinite. Raw. Beautiful. Cole stepped closer to the edge, feeling the slight pull of gravity adjustments. Nalice stood beside him. "Few people get to see it this way," she said. "Even fewer without armor or protocol." He swallowed, words failing him. "It's incredible. I've been in space my whole life, but I've never seen it like this." She glanced at him, long ears flicking slightly. "That's the point. Most people see what they expect to see. Not what is." Cole's eyes traveled across the stars, distant planets catching light like polished stones. "I guess that's what it was like in the docking bay," he said quietly. "You weren't royalty there. You were just you." "Yes," Nalice replied softly. "And for a moment, I could forget the crown. Forget the expectations, the empire, the weight of thousands of worlds relying on my decisions." She looked at him then, and for the first time, Cole thought he saw a hint of vulnerability, carefully hidden beneath the regal posture she carried. "I don't know what to say," he admitted. "I'm just me. Cargo, crates, and bad jokes." "You say more in one sentence than most say in a year," she replied, a faint smile curving her lips. "That counts for something." The comm unit on his wrist chirped. Cole froze. That's probably someone telling me off." Nalice shook her head. "Ignore it. Let the universe wait for a moment." Cole laughed nervously and did, for once, ignoring the pull of orders and duty. They stood together, two humans, or at least humanards, against the black expanse. The stars stretched infinitely, unblinking witnesses to an impossible meeting. "You ever wonder," Nalice said, voice low, "what would happen if we didn't follow the rules all the time?" Cole considered. "Wouldn't that be chaos?" "Not chaos," she corrected. "Freedom. Perspective. Maybe even hope." He frowned. "Hope?" "Yes," she said, her tone carefully measured. "Even a queen needs hope. And sometimes, it comes from the most unexpected places." Cole felt a strange warmth in his chest. He had spent years moving crates, dodging machinery, worrying about schedules and manifests. But here, with her, he felt like something mattered. Really mattered. The silence returned, but this time it was companionable. They watched a transport ship pass through a hyperspace flare, a blazing arc of light cutting through darkness. "That ship's like life," Cole said softly. "Brief, brilliant, and then, gone." Nalice tilted her head. "You make it sound poetic. For a cargo handler." "I've learned a few things," he admitted. "Mostly about avoiding getting crushed." She laughed, and the sound was like music, warm and grounding. "There's wisdom in that," she said. "Survival. Adaptation. Observation. You have more in common with rulers than you know." Cole's eyes narrowed slightly. "I think we might be having a philosophical moment out here." "Perhaps," Nalice replied, her long ears twitching as she considered him. Or perhaps it's just the stars talking to us. They lingered, watching ships drift, lights blinking, engines humming. Cole realized he could listen forever. He didn't understand how he, an ordinary man, had reached this point. And yet, he had. Somehow, the universe had handed him a moment beyond ordinary life, a moment that might ripple farther than either of them realized. Then, the warning alarm blared softly from the station behind them. Cole jumped. Nalice shook her head gently. "Don't worry," she said. "It's just a routine signal. Nothing catastrophic." Cole exhaled slowly, trying to calm his racing heart. "You say that now, but you looked way too calm for a queen." "Experience," she said simply. "And a little trust in you." He laughed softly. "I hope I live up to it." "You already have," she said. Her voice carried an authority that wasn't the crown, it was respect, genuine and uncalculated. "You reminded me what it feels like to be human. Or alien, if you prefer. It doesn't matter. The point is, presence. Awareness. Connection." Cole smiled, feeling weight and gravity and insignificance in space, and yet, somehow, grounded. "Then, what now?" he asked. Nalice glanced at the station, glowing softly in the distance. "Now, you live. I leave. We remember." Cole nodded slowly, understanding the enormity of it. And as she stepped back toward the airlock, he felt the impossible. The knowledge that life could be extraordinary, even in small, fleeting moments. Her ship departed without ceremony, the flare of hyperspace swallowing her like a comet burning across the void. Cole watched until nothing remained but stars, black and infinite. Then, slowly, he turned back to the docking bay. Crates awaited. Orders awaited. Life continued. And yet, nothing would ever be quite ordinary again. Because Cole Mathis had touched the edges of a galaxy, laughed with a queen, and learned that a single hello could echo farther than any hyperspace jump, farther than any empire. The cargo bay's smell was unchanged. The hum of engines was the same. But Cole walked through it differently now, with quiet confidence and a secret, that the universe, sometimes, bent itself for ordinary people who dared to notice. And for the first time, he believed that maybe, just maybe, ordinary could be extraordinary. Cole Mathis returned to his shift with a mind heavier than any crate he had ever lifted. The docking bay smelled the same, warm metal and burnt ozone, the fluorescent lights humming a monotonous tune, but nothing felt ordinary anymore. Every corner of the station seemed to whisper possibilities he hadn't considered. Doors that might open, corridors that might lead somewhere extraordinary. He moved the cargo carefully, aware of every worker around him. Not for fear of dropping a crate, but because every glance felt different. The memory of Queen Nalice Vin's eyes lingered, sharp yet soft, commanding yet strangely human. Cole shook his head. "Get a grip, Mathis. She's a queen. Not a friend," he muttered aloud, startling a passing technician. The comm unit chirped again, soft and familiar. Cole's stomach flipped. "I hope this isn't about last night's misstep," he murmured. He tapped the interface, and a holographic display blinked to life, an invitation. Not official protocol, not a royal summons, but something simpler, personal. A direct message from Nalice herself. "Meet me at the outer observation deck." Now, Cole swallowed. The outer observation deck wasn't just another viewpoint. It was where travelers could watch the hyperspace lanes stretch into infinity. Ships zipped by in coordinated arcs, their engines leaving trails like glowing threads across the black velvet of space. And somehow, Nalice wanted to meet here, unsupervised. He glanced at his co-workers, pretending nonchalance as he left the docking bay. No one asked questions. They wouldn't understand. How could they? Space was full of stars, but not every star reached out to ordinary cargo handlers and invited them to watch the galaxy. The lift carried him upward, passing administrative zones and diplomatic chambers, corridors humming with security protocols. Cole's fingers traced the lift railing, grounding himself. He had never been a man of high diplomacy, yet somehow he had become part of one. When he stepped onto the observation deck, Nalice was already there, silhouetted against the vast expanse. She wore a simple tunic, the way she had in the docking bay, her long ears angled forward. She didn't turn immediately. Cole hesitated, unsure if he should bow, nod, or wave like an idiot. "You came," she said, voice calm, warm. "I did," he replied. "Though I think I should apologize for interrupting royal inspections or something." She turned, and the stars reflected faintly in her eyes. "There are no inspections here," she said. "No advisors, no protocols. Only observation." She gestured to the lanes of ships passing below. "See how they move. How each vessel knows its place, yet adjusts to the flow." Cole leaned against the railing, watching. He had seen the lanes before, but never like this, never as an analogy for people. "It's mesmerizing. Like a dance." "Yes," Nallis said softly. "Order and chaos, constantly negotiating. People, empires, they forget that." She glanced at him. "I didn't want to forget you." Cole blinked. "Me?" "You," she repeated, her smile faint but certain. "The man who said hello without thinking. Who treated me like a person, not a crown." Cole's mind scrambled. "I didn't know what I was saying. I thought I was just, well, saying hello." "Exactly," she said, taking a small step closer. "And that honesty matters. In ways neither of us understand yet."